after this court
Ooh.
hearing, the judge, so remember, this is the preliminary hearing. So just to figure out if the judge wants to go ahead and, go through a trial and everything like that. So after this court hearing, the judge determined that Matthew would stand trial for the murder of his wife. And a trial date was set for October 22nd, 2019. So my question, though, is they found her body. Let's see. Let's go through the dates. They found her body in 2016, so October 5th, 2016. They charged him, what? February 9th? No. They charged him January 31st, 2018. He didn't go to trial.
Okay.
Like trial. Well, they set a trial date. Let me not even say he went to trial. They set the trial date for October 22nd, 2019. Why the frick does it take this long?
But that's not unusual.
Well, I understand that. That's my question. Why does it take this long?
Paperwork, legalities, red
good
tape.
Lord have mercy.
Politics.
I guess.
Do I need to go on?
So anyway, instead of the trial starting in October, it ended up starting on February 21st, 2020, which is why I said this is kind of recent. So the motive of the trial being that the motive for the murder in the trial was that she had an affair and that Matthew had found out about it. So there was speculation from Matthew's attorneys that mental illness resulted in repeated self-mutilation, which is like people cut themselves. That's called self-mutilation. May have been one of the reasons for the breakdown of their marriage. I call bullshit on that. They also tried to say that her habit of self-harm, so again, cutting herself, accounted for the blood-soaked carpet investigators found in her bedroom. So you're putting little razor cuts on yourself. It is not going to soak the freaking carpet in your room.
I don't know if you slice deep enough.
But no, herself in that instance, but continuously cutting yourself periodically. Well, I don't want to say continuously and periodically, but continuously cutting yourself does not.
They're all separate incidents. It's probably drew a little bit of blood, but not enough
like
to soak
it's not.
I mean, it might soak a Band-Aid. It'll soak a few Band-Aids for sure.
Maybe even a cloth, maybe a washcloth or something.
A cloth bandage, or like
but the freaking carpet,
the paper towel. That no. First of all, she'd be dead. How about that?
Right.
Because you can only lose so many pints of blood in so much time before you bleed out, and that's it. So
those lawyers were really reaching. They were really reaching.
They were.
So anyways, prosecutors allege that Matthew killed Elizabeth. So this is what they're thinking happened. He never said, yes, this is exactly what happened. But after all the evidence came out and everything, this is the picture the prosecutors are painting. So they allege that Matthew killed Elizabeth in their home, and then that he hid her body somewhere inside the home, and they're thinking possibly inside that freezer that, remember, when the police came to look for her initially, they only took note of this freezer in the basement that was just on and it was empty.
They did.
So they're thinking they're thinking that he possibly hid her in that freezer for 2 years. So she had probably been in that home dead in the freezer for 2 years.
Talk about frostbite galore. So Ky, we haven't talked about the children in a while. What was happening? What was going on with the kids when this was happening with this murder, when he was conducting this heinous crime? Where were the children?
They were just in another room. I forgot to say that. They were just in another room. So again, this is all alleged.
Okay.
Again, he hasn't said, yes, this is what I did. This is alleged. Nobody has any account that they had the kids on that day. So, again, all evidence points to the kids were just in another room while he was doing this to their mother. They were probably sleeping. And while all this is going on, the kids are actually with her father in Virginia. So they have custody of the kids. They're watching the kids now. So she was they're thinking, I'm going to say alleged, that she was in that freezer until Matthew decided we're moving. What the hell am I going to do? I doubt his wife or kids knew, like his current wife or kids knew that, his ex-wife was in the freezer. They're probably under the same assumption that everyone is. She's missing. So it's not like he could just package the freezer. His wife's gonna probably be like, I've been seeing. And my next question is, if she was in the freezer, how don't you know what's in the freezer and it's in your house? I know everything is
And
in
I'm
my
pretty sure
house.
they're not barbecued ribs in there. Like, how do you not know that?
I know it. Everything's
Or
in
at
my
least
house,
have
especially
some
if it's a
idea.
fridge or
Yeah.
freezer. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, my husband's
Hmm.
wallet, I don't go through his wallet, but you can't have a dead body in a wallet. So, but
No.
so he's moving. He had to figure out what to do with her. So that's when he just dumped her in that canal. So that's why it was just like half a mile from the house. This is what they're alleging. That's why it was just half a mile from the house. That's why it didn't show signs of being in the water for a long period of time. That's why, that's why, that's why. So everything's coming to this conclusion. So what happened was, the movers were coming and he was like, oh, frick. Suppose they
Yeah.
bump this or dump it out or accidentally tip it over or smell it or, so that's when he just decided to go ahead and dump her. So with all the evidence, not from him saying, yes, I'm guilty, yes, I did this, yes, I feel remorse, not from him saying that at all, just based on the evidence. On March 2020, the jury found Matthew guilty in the disappearance and murder of Elizabeth Sullivan, his wife, ex-wife, or whatever she is, deceased wife, and he ended up being sentenced to 16 years to life in prison for second-degree murder. What do you think about that?
I'm disappointed with the verdict because 16 years, you can do that with your eyes closed when you're young. So I'm disappointed. I mean, he probably had longer military, life than that. Do you know what I mean? He probably was in the military longer than that. Like, I just don't think that. Now, it says to life, but what if he has excellent behavior? I mean, what if what if he's on great behavior terms and, he gets out? I mean, that's not very long for such a heinous
Yeah.
crime. This is not just an accident. It's not self-defense. He didn't just trip upon it. Oh, I was just choking her and I didn't realize I
Oops,
was going to,
my bad. We were
strangle
having
her and kill
kinky
her.
sex.
Yeah. Yes. And I thought she liked that. We had a safe word. It was banana. She didn't
Right.
use
She
the
didn't
safe
say it.
word.
I didn't know she wanted
Sorry.
me to stop.
I had a flashback. Sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I had a flashback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we both agree that, well, what do you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure you're in agreement with me that it just wasn't enough time or the punishment didn't fit
I
the crime.
don't
What do you
think the
think?
punishment fit the crime. So, yeah. I think it needed more time. I think it actually needed life because he did it when the
I
children
agree
were
with
in the
that. Yes.
house. He had her in the house this whole
Hmm.
time while he's going around
2
talking to
years. Two
different
years.
publications, pretending
Yes.
that,
Lying.
I just want my wife to be back. Please bring her back,
Yes.
And this poor
I
woman
mean,
has been sitting in his house for 2 years. And then on top of that,
but shouldn't the judge look at that timing and say, add more time onto the fact that you held this crime and evidence for so long? Don't you think that should matter? And then you look at the heinous way of
but
how you
I'm
did
not
it.
the judge. I would take
How
everything
brutal,
into
brutal.
account, the kids, everything, the fact that, the only reason he just callously threw her in the bay because he needed to move. Like doesn't usually you in my opinion, what I think judges do is they sentence based on how how they feel the person is. If the person is remorseful, the person feels like they were,
Oh,
they
okay.
did wrong, they learned a lesson, they apologize to the family, anything like that. But you can tell by his
Hmm.
actions he wasn't remorseful. He dumped the body in the river and he moved cross
He's like,
country.
oh, well, I got
You know what I'm
caught.
saying? And then he came back and was
Yeah.
like, "No, I didn't do it. I'm not guilty. No." And then
That's my story. I'm
yeah,
sticking
and
to
then
it.
before that, he's just like, my wife's missing. Oh, let me go and get famous and let me do all these interviews and pretend like I'm the mourning father or husband or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then they try and be like, oh, well, yeah, no, all that blood on the carpet was because she used to cut herself. What? And oh, by the way, she's a drug addict. Okay, so it's like
Oh
nothing
my
he
God.
said shows any remorse to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with it. But anyway,
I agree.
he was 36 at the time of conviction, so he'll be like 52 when he gets out, I
I
guess.
mean, but that's not bad. No, actually, oh yeah, that's about right. But I mean, that's not bad. You still have some good living to do. I mean, come on, that's
But that
ridiculous.
can't that
He's probably counting the days, like, oh, that's not bad. I could do that from my eyes closed,
yeah,
15
but that
years.
that doesn't
He's probably
that
been in
doesn't
there
add
for
up. He was
3, so,
convicted. Let me see.
and 18.
Cause right
They
now,
didn't find her until 18.
yeah, no. So, no, I don't think he was 36 because they found her in 20. They convicted him in 2018. He was found guilty
Was he 38?
last year, actually, and right now he's 47 years old.
Oh, wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah. So
Now he's 47. I didn't realize he was that
yeah,
old in the
yeah,
first place
that
before.
only happened last year. So
Yeah.
he's not getting out until so he's only been in there for like a year. So he's not getting out
Three
until
or
he's
here, yeah.
62, which is still pretty young. That's if they
He can still, I mean,
he
yeah.
still has a
Some
life.
seniors live
Yeah.
pretty well.
That's if
Hmm.
they let him out if they
Yeah.
don't do life, but he's eligible for parole when he's 62. So that's freaking young.
He'll get out just in time to collect Social Security.
And
Life can't be that.
I don't know why this is, but even though this happened in California, he's currently at the Montgomery County, PA Correctional Facility in Eaglesville, PA. So he's on the East Coast. Did they do that for the children to easily be able to visit him? Because his children with Elizabeth, they're living with her father in Virginia, and then his
Wow.
wife, I don't know if she divorced him. I should have looked that up. I don't know if she divorced him because once I found out that you killed your ex-wife, Chuck the
Yeah. Yeah.
deuce
Hello.
hard.
Hello. Yeah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
bringing my child to see you.
It's not time for stand by your
No,
man. No, not in
I'm
this
not that
case.
kind of ride or die. It's not happening.
Hmm.
So yeah. So the kids, the two girls are in Virginia, and if this current wife or ex-wife or whatever she is now, if she stayed with him, she's in Delaware, unless she went back to San Diego, because I think it sounds like she might be from San Diego. So if that's the case, everybody's on the East Coast. I wonder if they granted him a special permission and moved him to the East Coast because his whole family is there. Which again,
Well, that's what I was thinking because Delaware is quite close to Pennsylvania as well. But who gets this kind of treatment? Who gets
that's what I was
these
saying.
types of
Again,
favors?
why would you get this
I mean,
kind of
even if you're in
treatment?
good behavior, come on.
Because
Yeah, if that's the case, all prisoners would get that, or that do well enough and don't start fights and have homemade shanks every couple of months. In the shower, bend over, don't drop the soap. That now you violated this person. Like if he wasn't doing all of these terrible things, it still doesn't warrant why he would get that type of treatment and special options
I
like
mean,
that. I
because
don't
if you
think
think
so.
about it, she wasn't granted this special treatment. She'll never see her kids again. Her kids will never see her. So why
Never.
do you get to go from
Hmm.
the West Coast to the East Coast to be close to your family? Again, we're alleging this.
So they can
It's a
easily come and see
supposition.
you. Like
We're not
crazy.
saying this is exactly why he's in Montgomery County, PA. I don't know, but we're just wondering, is this why? And if it is
Yeah, we're
why,
just
then
speculating.
that's crazy that they did that for him. But anyways,
Yeah, I agree. All those people in prison don't necessarily get that favoritism. So I don't know. It depends. But you know what? They say it's who you know. Maybe he had some money stashed somewhere and red tape. You pay off certain people, you might get benefits like that. You never know. But it's not going to get you out of prison. So what difference does it make? I mean, yeah, they're closer, but you're still there.
yeah, I guess. Anyway, that is the story of Matthew Sullivan and Elizabeth Sullivan. And as usual, if you like this episode, I need to tell your military,
Go
if
for
it's
it,
a
Ky.
military spouse and you especially like this episode, then I would tell your husband or wife to stay on deployment. Don't come back home. Cause,
And
yeah, because something might happen because, they liked this episode. But go ahead and go to Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars over there. As usual, you can say whatever you want in the description, but please give us 5 stars. Please put something in the description. You can literally put fifth, F-I-F, fifth in the description if you want. But this basically helps brings us up the charts and lets more people easily find our podcast. Don't forget to visit us on Patreon and become a subscriber for crazy bonus episodes, crazy funny